Hello everyone, this is PWME News, that's ProWrestling.me News. I'm LK, your host for this program, and today on this show we're going to preview SmackDown, which starts in just under an hour, talk about some Lucha Underground TV ratings slash viewership figures. We're going to talk about NXT preview for next week. We're also going to touch on some injuries, including AJ Styles. Going to talk about some changes to the WWE and NXT creative teams, and also the TNA TV ratings. And we're going to start off with our favorite site, ringsidenews.com. As you know, there's lots of usual bullshit going on around them. Now, the deal is with this is that they've actually quoted someone, so it's actually a respectable, reliable source. They've used the source of PWI Inside. Is it PW Inside or PWI Inside? I don't really care, to be perfectly honest with you, if I'm going to be frank with you. Now, the first article that I'm going to be talking about today, or the first topic, should we say, I'm going to talk about today, is another round of cuts being made that regarding WWE releases for the WWE. So again, a couple of days back, the WWE is expected to announce even more cuts out from the promotion. PWI Insider now reports that those cuts could be made as early as May the 27th unless they decide to wait. There are also rumors of another surprising WWE release, a woman star and one who would be considered a top superstar. It was noted that states of execution are always possible for some talents who go through late negotiations, but it sounds like officials already know who will be getting cut. The reason for the cuts is that the company can make room for new talent. Vince McMahon mentioned during this week's first quarter earnings call that over the next month or so, the company will have more talents on the roster than ever before. And the rumor, I've had it recently, is that it's going to be around 90. Now, there has been many talks, many rumors, many ramblings about the potential of a brand split. My opinion on that is, okay, a brand split is great, but the roster just doesn't have the depth for it. But once we get Big Match John back, once we get, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton back, once you get Seth Rollins back, it's actually a pretty in-depth roster. And if 90 is the target, then I would say cut some of the dead weight, maybe cut some people down in NXT who aren't really producing or aren't really performing, who haven't stepped up to the plate. Maybe fire some down there, but as a whole, I don't really know who you can fire, because in the end of the day, you still need the people. I don't like using the word jobbers, but in the end of the day, you still need the jobbers, because you have to make stars by having them beat, quite frankly. Like, I would never, I was shocked they released Damien Sandow, because he's a guy that people like. So I thought, hey, why don't we keep him? And then he can do the job. He can do the favors to say someone they're building up. So say a heel from NXT comes up, say Baron Corbin. If that's me, I'm having him versus Sandow for a few weeks just to test the reaction for Baron Corbin. However, what they've been doing is they decided to fire Damien Sandow for some strange particular reason, even though he has been in WWE since up and down since about 2006. If you remember, he was with Aaron Stevens and Idol James. They were with Michelle McCool in 2006. He even having a pay-per-view match in MSC 2006 against Brian Kendrick and Paul London, who had Ashley in their corner. Pretty dull match, if I'm going to be frank with you. Then he went on to become Mr. Damien Sandow, then Mizdow. Then he is what he is now. That's not much. So, speaking of Damien Sanders, a great transition, a great slide into the next topic. Joey got released this past Friday. He's been booked for 2 upcoming independent shows. He's booked for a Tier 1 wrestling show in August the 7th. I wish you luck. And Heroes and Legends in October the 22nd. I'm expecting him to be in lots of dates and booked. But out of everyone, he's the first to really be booked for a show. I mean, Hornswoggle was announced for Global Force, and Zeb Coulter, or Dutch Mantel, whatever the fuck you want to call him, for some strange particular reason, he's been announced for Global Force, and Booker T's at Global Force. I don't know what particular is going on right now, and quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. But I'm shocked that less wrestlers are booked. Like, I thought, to be honest with you, that, Barrett would be booked by now. I mean, I'm expecting him to take time off away from wrestling, if I'm going to be honest. But, Hornswoggle's booked. If you're if you're a kid-friendly show, if you're a family-friendly show, and your main source of income is from the children, Hornswoggle should be on your show. But Damien Sandow, if you're not in like the hardcore wrestling fan, do you really care for a Sandow? No, but the children will care about, Hornswoggle, or someone might, think, oh, we the people kind of thing. I don't know, Dutch Mantel, or is that Zeb called? Is that his name now? Or is that what he's going as? But I don't really know. And I'm just going to take a quick monster drink because my mouth is drier than a camel. And I'm absolutely battered. It's currently 12:32 a.m. I'm waiting for Mr. David Kota's go because we're going to be going with a Lucha Underground review. I've just finished watching Lucha Underground. I absolutely loved the Grave Consequences match. It was a really good match, but I don't want to talk about that too much because this is the news show, and you should stick around for the Lucha Underground review sometime down the line. So I'm trying to stay up. I apologize. I missed last night's NXT review due to the fact of just tiredness, bro. Just tiredness. After tomorrow, well, it's today in theory, it is my last shift at this shitty job. And then I can move on into this better job, which is an extra £2 an hour, which, if you had to add it up every year, is so much better. And it's not, it's what I want. Basically, it's what I want. Enough of me. Poor Damon Sandow, and I hope he gets booked better in the near future. So, I'm going to talk about some details on changes to the WNXT creative teams because, let's be honest, they need it. So, former Tampa Tribunes writer Joe Baleska. It wouldn't be an episode of PWME News if I didn't slaughter something. I'm now about to slaughter this guy's name, and I do apologize. So, Joe Balcastro is a new head writer for One NXT. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter reports that Belcastro will be working directly underneath Triple H. He was also involved in the pilot of the NXT Kids show filmed on earlier this year. Balcastro is replacing former NXT head writer Ryan Ward. Ward has been promoted up to Raw and up to SmackDown on the USA Network after receiving high praises from the company for his work down on NXT. But the difference is he will now have the biggest filter in the world, known as the toilet himself, Vince McMahon. He is such a toilet, it's not even funny. You know, the new NXT head writer first applied for the job with WWE back in 2008 after graduating from college, but was turned down. A friend with a connection in WWE reported got Balcastro a second interview with the company in 2013 after writing for the Tribune and movie review websites, and he was hired. He has no prior experience writing anything for television. So what you're trying to tell me is the guy's now been, given the spot of NXT head writer. His roles in the past are graduating college, failing an interview, writing for a review website. Does this mean that if you write for a website, or if you do something for a website that's a big enough website, you could get signed to become the head writer of NXT? I didn't see anything, I do not actually know what the Tribune and movie review website is. I honestly don't know. If someone could help me out in the comments what that actually is, it would be great. But personally, from my personal self talking, I have no clue what that is. And dude, how that does that, because you have a connection in the WWE itself, means you get that job is downright disgusting. That should be a position where you at the performance center. I think instead of just having 18,000 rings, promo rooms, have a commentary room where you can work on commentators, have a backstage room, work on backstage. And I'm pretty sure they have that, and I'm pretty damn confident they have that. I'm sure they will. But also have maybe a writing department. I know they got Full Sail University over there, which must be a big help. But why don't they have a creative department there down in NXT? Why don't you employ Jim Ross? I mean, I know the guy's busy, but if you pay him enough, he's going to come and down. Or I don't know who used to write Ed Ferrara. Okay, he used to write with the Attitude Era with one of your favorite, Vince Russo. And he works, believe it or not. And if you don't believe me, if you think I'm making this up, fucking look it up. He works at Full Sail University. On his off time, on his off days, pay him enough money, have him come and teach, and then have someone who wrote during the 2002 era, have them come and teach from 2006 era, come and teach, and then have one day a week someone from the current creative team come down and teach, so they get a taster and a learning tree moment from each single era, so that when they are writing, they can mix and match and touch and tibble in every single era, so that it makes every person happy. Whether that means you're touching all different age groups, you'll be touching the people who watched professional wrestling back in 1998, people watching in 2002, 2006, 2010, 2014, 2016. It's that simple. That's how I would do it. And I think I'm shocked that they might have that. I'm not aware of it if there is, but they really need to start, bringing their writers up through the ranks and not just employing people who have writing background. Have people who, if this Tribune is a wrestling reviewing site, then that to me is very hypocritical for them to bash the internet wrestling community, which is, where this guy's come from, quite frankly. And now he's writing the show. I'm not too sure about that. But again, the source is no DQ. So if that's bullshit, and obviously the Wrestling Observer, that's just word of mouth. If you don't believe that, then that's your prerogative, to be perfectly honest with you. Impact this week did if TNA fans will tune out now, they drew 280,000 viewers yesterday on Pop. This week's show featured EC3 versus Spud in a 6-sider steel cage match main event. It was down 8% in viewership compared to last week's show, which drew 303,000. The week before, they drew 332,000 for the sacrifice event. So they're really gradually going down. And I said, I'm only going to be concerned if it goes below 300,000. Last week, I said, we're still above 300,000. This week, we're below. We're down to 280. That's pretty damn low. No replay because, you know why? Because the replay is now on Saturday morning. I think 11:30 a.m. if I'm correct. So that's pretty damn bad. They're just scraped in the top 150 on cable, but it was the lowest edition viewed wise of Impact I think there's ever been, because normally normally what happened for ages, we'd combine the 9 to 11 and the 11 to 1 viewership time. But now we can't because that's been scrapped. The 11 to 9 has been scrapped, done by Catjazz down the line. All we have is this one. So this is the sole effort to get views, and it was pretty damn poor. We're gradually going down. I hope it goes up. I really do. EC3 in the main event. I don't want the viewerships to be down for that, because then I don't want them to think, oh wait, EC3 in the main event, that doesn't draw clearly. Looking at the statistics and analyzing it, I hope that's not what they take from this. But in the end of the day, that's, TNA is TNA, and it's going to have ups and downs, peaks and values. But I don't want the viewership to be down. In the end of the day, I don't want them to lose money. I don't want them to. Don't want these people to lose work. Boo Boom. This is live comments. LK Cheeky Bastard, how are you? I'm great. I'm rocking and rolling. Sorry I missed you, Booms, again, as I touched on earlier. I just fell asleep. I fell asleep during Alex Riley's match with Nakamura. Thought you'd be at a strip club spending all that extra cash, make it rain. Writing blogs got do fully a job with WWE. So folks, please sign up for pricing.me, blow up the site, and help LK, Coco, Sammy, and myself get writing jobs with WWE, because that's how it works. Yeah, see, look, I'm pretty confident in about 10 years' time, when pro wrestling.me becomes the next big thing, we will be making money up in this mug, and we'll be running WWE. Boom, so check up on your pro wrestling.me if you want to do any shows after this. Please, once I've finished this show, I'll send you a message. And me and Dave are going to be doing a Lucha Underground review in a couple of hours, but Dave's schedule, he might not even be here at all. And B, we could do a Fave 5 or a Fave 10 or just something, just do a show together, because it's been too long, my friend, too long. So Impact fucked up on TV ratings anyway. Onto some, kind of breaking news that only happened a few hours ago. AJ Styles is currently suffering from several nagging injuries and didn't rest at this week's SmackDown's taping as a result of that. PWMinsider.com reports, so take this as it is. AJ has been pulled from this weekend's live events also, so he can try to heal up. WWE obviously wants AJ to recover as much as he can before his May 22nd Extreme Rules match against Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of the pay-per-view. Styles, though, was originally scheduled to wrestle Friday in Greensville, Saturday in Raleigh, and Sunday in Columbus. Those plans are now reportedly been changed, and it's unknown whether WWE intends to have Styles wrestle another singles match or not before the pay-per-view, because obviously there's a Raw and a SmackDown go-home show left before the Extreme Rules pay-per-view next Sunday. If you remember, though, AJ did have back problems. Several months ago, he had back problems, but if I remember correctly, he had DDP yoga, and then he was fine. So why doesn't he just go back to DDP's HQ and then just work on the DDP yoga work? And that's probably what he's going to be doing. He's off the live events, which is good. Heal the body up, heal that fucker up. Have on Monday Night Raw, maybe have AJ cut a promo, or then Reigns have a match with the Club. What an awful name, bro. What an absolute catastrophe of a name. A joke of a name. Awful name. Jesus wept. But sad news for AJ, and I hope it doesn't. In the past, Ziggler's been punished for concussions and for injuries. Barrett, dude, the guy's going to the guy's fired because he's injury prone. If he wasn't so injury prone, you look me dead in the eye and tell me if he wasn't injury prone that guy wouldn't be world champion, because I could look back you square in the eye and call you a liar. That is the reason why the guy never became as more successful, because how would you rank success? Did he make good money? Probably. Who are we to tell, unless there's a way to find out their actual earnings. But at the end of the day, he's what, like a 5-time IC champ? That's not too shabby. That's more than what most men get. So, I mean, he was part of Nexus, which took over. I mean, he main event pay-per-views. He had a decent run, but he just kept getting injured and injured. And every time he got injured, he got pushed down the card. He pushed down the card. And it's the way it works, sadly. NXT next week. Obviously, NXT review. Make sure you check out. Booms did it earlier on yesterday. 2 matches have been announced, or they haven't been announced, but here we are. You got Bayley versus Nia Jax, a rematch from the NXT TakeOver London event, and Blake Murphy will take on Austin Aries and a partner of his choosing in a tag team match. And also, Samoa Joe will be defending, his NXT Championship against Finn Balor at the next NXT TakeOver show in just under a month's time on June the 8th. So very interesting. I'm going to get on some Lucha Underground news, kind of. What's the TV ratings anyway? So they drew the combined audience of 177,000 viewers this week, which it was 3,000 viewers down from last week. If you remember last week, they only got 180,000, but that's not too shabby. But what the scary point is here, the first run only drew 96,000 viewers, which is down drastically from 138, and it was the second fewest first run viewers of the year. However, obviously the replay jumped to 81,000, nearly doubling last week, which was 42,000, and was the second most watched replay of the year. So as a whole, decent week. I think now we've got our average. Impact's average is around about the 300,000 mark. You can kind of like push one way or push the other way, but you're always going to get around to the 300,000. And with Lucha Underground, I'd say 160 to 190. That, or 160 to 200,000, is the giveaway. So Lucha Underground wants to grow on that. Impact obviously wants to grow on that too. But as a whole, the reason why I think more people are watching the replay this week was because this week's NXT featured American Alpha. They featured Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor all in action. So what I'm thinking is obviously happened is people decided, whilst Lucha Underground was live, or first airing, they decided to watch NXT. And then after, they thought, let's watch Lucha Underground first, then watch NXT on demand. So that's obviously what happened, but it doesn't affect the ratings because obviously they're still pretty damn good. And scary thought this, they're only 100,000 off TNA. That is scary. Could they be catching up to be the second wrestling promotion? Well, if you call it a wrestling promotion, because they're seasonal. So I don't really know about that. I'm going to get some live comments again. Before I touch on, I'm going to give a SmackDown preview before we actually get close. We're so close to fucking SmackDown. It's only 15 minutes away. Or is, I don't know if on American time. Here we are. Dragon Rider 951 puts Bada Boom, realest nerd in the room. How are you doing, sir? What an entrance. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing, Dragon Rider? Lennox Whitson puts, what do you think about Adam Cole and the Bullet Club is going to New Japan, /RH, and WWE? I liked Adam Cole joining the Bullet Club. I thought it was a great swerve. When the lights went out, I thought, oh my god, and the crowd started chanting CM Punk. I was thinking, there's no freaking way Punk's going to be there. There's no way Punk's going to be there. But it was fucking Adam Cole. I wasn't disappointed. It was so smart because they deliberately didn't have him on the pay-per-view, but because the pay-per-view was so stacked with guys like Okada, Tanahashi, Naito, Jay Lethal, Colt Cabana, it's just such great talent. You weren't thinking, oh, where's Adam Cole? Because of that. And then when he came out, you're like, oh, fuck, that makes sense. That's why that makes sense. So good swerve from Ring of Honor, but the beatdown at the end was a bit too much for me and a bit boring. It just dragged, and it's a pay-per-view main event that you're either gonna love or you're gonna hate, and I'm just kind of like, dude, I pay good money for that, bro. Boom Boom doing well. Want to go see Captain America War today. I've never, believe it or not, as a nerdy as I am, I've never got into the Captain Americas. I never got into the Marvels. I love Game of Thrones. I absolutely adore that, but I just can't get into Marvel. Maybe I should sit down and watch it. Boom, but I think the RH Bullet Club angle has breathed new life into the faction. Yeah, that makes sense. It definitely is. Adam Cole is made for factions too. A feud for control of Omega would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. But then in New Japan, would you have the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega away, which means you would lose the Elite, which means you would lose the merch for the Elite unless Adam Cole then goes over to New Japan and Kenny Omega goes singles somewhere else. I'm not sure how that'll play out. We'll just have to look. Thomas Savolsky. Pushberry Fire. Okay, Baron Corbin in 5 years. EC3 right now. New Jack in his. I'd fire New Jack because he'd probably violate every single wellness policy I'd have. Baron Corbin in 5 years. I'd bury, but EC3 right now is amazing. I'd push. I'd love to see RH lost Ingrid faction 2. I saw to that. Yeah, that makes sense. They got a Japan one, they got a Mexico one, one have an American one. That makes sense as well because they've got the people who are from the dojo. They come over to either America or like Evil. He came over as Watanabe. But usually they go to CMLL or AAA, but maybe send them over to Ring of Honor. How do you book the end of Reigns versus Styles turning without hurting Styles' star power? Does Reigns turn? Does Data? Oh, dude, that's such a good question. Fuck me, I'm not in the right mindset to answer that right now. I'm not really thinking about Extreme Rules, but it's got to be a way done that this rivalry ends. Do you want to take Baylor off NXT? That's a question. There's loads of questions which sometimes are good, sometimes bad, because lots of questions mean they actually have to think, and when they think, they usually come up with bullshit. So you got to think about that. I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest with you. You could have Baylor debut, I guess. You could have Anson Gallows turn on AJ. You could have Reigns turn and join the club. That's bullshit. Or you could have Baylor debut, think attacking Reigns, and then boom, attacks AJ, and then you do an AJ and Baylor feud, and then the club, that being Anderson and Gallows, thinking, oh shit, shall I join AJ? Shall I join Baylor? I love them both. What's going to happen? And then blah, 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 blah. That could be a good program heading into the summer. AJ versus Baylor, that would be great. And then Seth Rollins is back. Seth Rollins' claim he never lost the WWE World Championship. He wants his revenge against Roman Reigns. That's a program he can sink your teeth into. Seth Rollins is not only going to get a big pop for returning, but also a big pop if he's going to be against Roman Reigns. I think he'd be a great babyface. You could go down that route. You've always got John Cena in the background, but I think Rusev's going to win the US Championship, and then May the 30th, Cena is going to come out, challenge Rusev to a match. Rusev is going to decline, blah, 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 blah. Cena wins the US Championship, and then you're going to get the US Championship Open Challenge. But I don't know. Good question. Really good question. Haven't really thought about that too much. How would you rank the major companies below WWE? Again, how? What do you mean rank? Rank my opinion or actual, company-wise? If it was ranked company money-wise, I'd probably go New Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground. Or maybe switch Lucha Underground and Ring of Honor, or maybe switch TNA and Lucha Underground. I don't know, but actually rank them for me personally. I would probably go RH Progress at the top. Then below have New Japan-ish. Maybe TNA will be low. I've lost passion for TNA. My morale for TNA right now is literally, I'd rather sit on the toilet and be a toilet than watch TNA right now. And that's not a dig on TNA at all. I it just doesn't appeal to me. I just don't care. If any of you out there understand what I'm trying to get across is, I don't think the product bad. The product's good. I just have no emotional attachment to it. I just don't give a fuck about the product in any way, shape, or form. It's like watching Main Event. The product's good. You just don't give a fuck, so you don't watch it. Yeah? Ever think of it like that? Jesus Christ. And that's so much for my SmackDown preview, but I'm going to keep on going with live comments because I enjoy live comments. So let's see if we have any more. Oh, here we go. Whoa, how are we? So we are. Could you see Mount Rushmore versus Bullet Club in WWE? No, probably not, sadly. Long time no see, okay? Hope all is well. Cheers, man. That's from Randy Morgan. Yeah, it's been a long time. Hope you're doing well, old chap. What's the worst name, the club or the family? How would you create such a woeful name? No wonder why these guys are fucking writers just coming out of college. Jesus Christ on a popsicle stick. The amount of toiletry that it would take to come up with the name, the club and the family. Like, guys, there's 45 of us here. Let's come out with some phenomenal names. And then some guy in the back's like, hey, Vince, we should call them the club. Like, as a joke, Vince is like, you at the back, get down here now. He's there now shitting himself, thinking he's going to lose his job. Good job. Sit next to me. What should we call Roman? Should we call him the Roman Empire? No, I got something better than that, Vince. What is it? Tell me. The family. Vince is there like, how much money am I paying you, kid? It's voluntary. Here's my phone. Like, dude, the family and the club, like, what a toilet Vince McMahon is for even letting that be. Like, it's just like, dude, why couldn't you do the Roman Empire versus Bulletproof or whatever? Like, I don't like the name Baylor Club either. If I'm going to be honest, I don't like the name Baylor Club because it makes it look all about Baylor and it's his club when, the Bullet Club actually isn't about one man. It's about the whole faction. But as a whole, awful names. How do you think Apollo Crews will do on the main roster given how he's done so far? That's from Dragon Rider 951. I can't really judge the guy. He's had squash matches and one match occur. He had a great match of Axel on, speaking of main event a few weeks ago. But I just don't see anything in the guy right now. There's no personality, there's no character. I literally, he's on the main roster because he has muscle. That's the way I always think, and that's the way I feel towards the guy. And that's not a knock on his talent. He's so talented. He's so great in the ring. He just doesn't connect with the audience. Like, if you actually listen to him, the fans, when he's in the ring, there's no connection. Even in NXT, it's why he goes like that, when he comes out. Because he wants them to make noise, there's no pop. And that's what's happening with Austin Aries right now. I hope Austin Aries in the future will start to get better reactions because I'm actually a fan of Austin Aries. And my point being, many, many months ago on an NXT review, I said Austin Aries does not draw. And who right now gets a shitty reaction done in NXT? It's one Mr. Austin Aries. Who else we got? Do you think a Cena tag team would work? Is it a good way to bring them back without burying talent? Could they be heels? That's from Lennox Woodison. No, because then they would beat all the good tag teams. And I don't know, we don't want that, do we? Let's be honest. I think there's not money in making them. I think there's more money in making them singly. I like both of them singly. Who gets the world championship first? Corbin or Big Cass? Oof. Well, Big Cass is involved in the opening and closing of Raw, which is a good sign. Corbin had a decent match with Dolph Ziggler on Raw. I don't know. The club, it makes me cringe. Michael Cole sucks when he says it. Michael Cole sucks when he says most things. Randy Morgan, hopefully Cass, and hopefully a ways down the road. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm not against Big Cass. I mean, if I could personally pick, I'd probably go Corbin. The guy I put on my Twitter machine, follow me on Twitter at LK Wrestling. I said the guy's growing on me. The guy is legit growing on me. Baron Corbin impressed me. Good job. Keep it up. Who should ask a feud with after Jax? Well, I mean, you got the Bayley feud waiting there to happen. Alexa Bliss or Carmella. You took out my friend from NXT. Now I'm going to take out you kind of gimmick. I don't know. If I had Ricky Krajewski, my hater, I got to give you a nickname, something horrible. If I had to dollar for every cock you sucked, I've had $200. You suck so fucking much. Yet you click on this video, you're still watching the video, you take the time to comment, which actually helps the numbers. And yet you continue to say I suck. You continue to tell everyone on the channel that you should kick me off the channel. Now there's 8 viewers and we have 0 dislikes until you obviously click dislike on the button. And I'm going to be frank with you, you're the only hater I have. And Bill Horpesky, but I think you're just ribbing. Can you please put in the live comments now why I suck? Could you come and sit here right now in this beautiful office and do this show right now, 12:56 a.m. I've already worked today. I've done stuff for ProWrestling.me, and you have the fucking nerve to come on here and bash me at 1 a.m. in the morning? Do you stay up to do what you want to do at 1 a.m. in the morning, or do you just come on here and bash me for doing it? Dude, you're a waste of time and a waste of space. I'm just going to put it out there. Saying, that's like me going to you, what's your dream, you don't think I just walked into this. I didn't just walk into KocoSports, didn't just walk into ProWrestling.me. I spent about 1.5 years every day staying up to stupid o'clock to be able to have this opportunity. I worked my ass off for a website that I carried on my back. I'm not going to say what website, and it was appalling. And I worked my ass off. And then one day Coco said would like do a show. I jumped in it and I never looked back. So for you to say to kick me off the channel, quite frankly, is downright disrespectful and quite rude. Enough time spent on you toilet. That was kind of funny. Who do you think is the best heel in wrestling? Got to be the Miz. I think the guy's fucking awesome. No pun intended. Well, maybe pun intended. 3 likes, 1 dislike from Ricky. Funny. Where are we? LK is great what he does. Lennox Wilson, thank you very much. Who do you think is the Dragon Rider 951? Who do you think is the worst booked male, female from NXT that is now on the main roster? I mean, Apollo Crews wasn't booked. Corbin was booked pretty well. I didn't see nothing wrong with the way Corbin was booked. Baylor's not there yet. Joe's been booked pretty well. You know, if you actually look, I mean, that's a tough one. Good question, though. Pushberry Fire, The Book of Truth, Jim Cornette's tennis racket, Ricky Kudrowski's mama. I don't want to bury Ricky Kudrowski. I'd fire Ricky Kudrowski's mum just so he leaves me alone. Jim Cornette's tennis racket. I'll push The Book of Truth because then I can actually read it. Is that an actual book? I'll be interested in reading it. Randy Morgan. Okay, we may disagree, but you have the right to have your own opinion. It's wrestling, LOL. Yeah, I've said that many times. But you have your opinion. If I have a shit show, I have a shit show. You know, sometimes, when you're up at 1 a.m. in the morning, that does tend to happen. But to go on a video that I wasn't a part of every single time saying it, I was fine with him. Literally, he always says, for instance, on this week's NXT review, which you should check out, by the way, he put in the comments, LK sucks dick, not figuratively, literally. Okay, I'll put, yeah, you do too, blah, blah, blah. That's funny. I enjoy that. That's entertainment. It's funny. You have your opinion. You don't like me. You don't have to. I'd be annoyed if everyone liked me because then it'd be boring. Like you said, Randy Morgan, you have your own opinion. But to tell the YouTube channel boss to fire me, that's a bit far. That's when I kind of have an issue with the guy. Before, I didn't have an issue with him personally. Now he took a personal attack at me to get me kicked off the channel. But thankfully, Coco didn't care. But again, no, I do agree. Ronnie S., who do you think Orton should with when he returns? Feud with. Who do I think he should feud with? Oh, that's an absolute great question. If you build a sports entertainer from the fucking ground up, you get Randy Orton. I love saying that. Dude, if we could have a soundboard on this YouTube channel, if we could have a soundboard with non-copyright bullshit, I'd hit JBL saying that button. Hit it every time. It'll be fucking hilarious. Who do I think he should feud with? That is a great question. You know, I said, I believe it or not, I played a bit of a 2K16 earlier on. I'm in the middle of a feud with Ryback, and there are actually some damn entertaining matches, but it's a game console, and Ryback would be gone anyway. Who could I see him feuding with? I could picture Reigns. I could picture Randy Orton coming back and feuding with Reigns. If you remember SummerSlam 2014, he actually had a pretty damn good program going on. I just don't know who you could feud him with. I'm presuming he's going to be a heel when he comes back. As a babyface story, so that means he's going to be feuding with a heel, maybe a Bray Wyatt. We haven't seen a Bray Wyatt Randy Orton feud, and it'll be quite fresh. So then you see the return of Randy Orton, then boom, straight away you see the return of the Wyatt family. That could be pretty awesome. Then you could have Randy Orton, blah blah blah. Maybe a Randy Orton Rusev for the US strap, who's IC. Randy Orton Kevin Owens for the IC. That could be a great shout. So you have Kevin Owens win the IC title, or even Randy Orton and the Miz. Even Miz is great at being a heel, and Orton could get a great reaction. That could just be a great stereotypical IC title match, babyface versus heel, blah, blah, blah. But no, great question. I honestly don't know. And that's a really good one. Where are we? What do you think about RH just naming Jay Lethal defending against Jay Briscoe best in the world? Good idea, a waste of a main event? I don't know. That is a good question. That's from Booms. That's the same as last year. Briscoe very rarely loses. If you actually look at the history of Ring of Honor, he's lost very few times. Are they going to put the belt back on Briscoe? I don't know. But Lethal's had a year title reign. He won it last year at Best in the World against Jay Briscoe. I can see this being okay. The match is always great, so I can see that. And I don't know. I wish they mixed it up a little bit. I want to see Roddy Strong. Personally, I want to see Roddy Strong back in the mix. But anyway. Your hatred for Randy Orton just made Thomas Savosky. I do not hate Randy Orton. If you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. That is not me hating the guy. I legit love Randy Orton. Well, not literally love him, as figuratively, as Kudrowski, whatever the fuck the hater's name is. In my opinion, I feel like Tyler Breeze, oh, dude, that's a great shout. Dragon Rider, that's a phenomenal shout. Tyler Breeze is the very worst booked NXT guy on the main roster. If you build a sports entertainer from the top down, you'd get Roman Reigns. Dude, that is absolutely fucking magnificent. So right now, so we got Spliff Hardy, we got Fat Hardy. We've got, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. We also have Big Match John, which is John Cena. And then now we have, if you build a sports entertainer from the top down, you get Roman Reigns. But I don't actually like Roman Reigns, but I digress. That's funny. We got some nicknames going on here. This is good stuff. So Lennox Wilson, great shout. I'm going to use that moving forward. Becky Lynch is the worst booked NXT girl on the main roster. Yeah, but earlier on in this year, they booked her quite well, but going now, she's just bloody gagging around and doing this stuff with Dana Brooke, and that's just dead. She's just there to replace Naomi and Tamina, as they're both out injured, which no one even realized or cared about, to be frank with you, nor do I. 5 likes, thank you very much, guys, much appreciated. Get back to some more live comments. Is Seth turning as a heel since they haven't turned Roman? Excuse me. I don't know. That is a possibility. And by the way, I am going to get to preview SmackDown eventually. That is a phenomenal question. That I never thought of it like that. I mean, I think personally, no matter how you try and portray Reigns, he's going to get booed. Like, if you want to portray him as a face, why bother turning Rollins heel? Because they're going to cheer Rollins. So if you think of this logically, okay. So if you turn Reigns if you keep Reigns babyface, make Rollins come back the heel, the fans are going to cheer Rollins because A, he's returning, and B, the fact that Reigns isn't a very good babyface because he doesn't look vulnerable and he's an absolute sack of shit. So in theory, they're going to boo Reigns anyway. So why not make money off Seth Rollins and have him come back as a babyface? Because we haven't seen him in a while. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be hot. And it's going to be fucking awesome. A babyface Rollins, heel Reigns, talk about the history, blah, 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 blah. One pay-per-view, add Ambrose in the mix, make that a triple threat. I think that could be awesome. So no, I'd have, me personally, if I was writing, I'd have Rollins come out as the babyface. Where is Sasha? I have no clue. Seth will be cheered no matter how they book him. Yeah, I agree with that. Great comment, Thomas Savosky. Dragon Rider. What do you think the crowd reaction would be during a Cena Reigns WWE title match? They'll just be boo, Cena sucks, Roman sucks. Let's go Cena, Cena sucks. I have no clue. Maybe Orton versus Cena. Ronnie S. Great, that's original. Who was the 2016 MVP thus far? I've got to say Will Ospreay. Dude, the guy's having great match after great match after great match after great match after great match. Or you could say Naito, or AJ. He's had a pretty damn good run in WWE for what it's worth. Better than what I thought it'd be anyway. There we go. Finally, I'm going to preview SmackDown, which I don't know if it starts now in America or in an hour's time or 55 minutes. So you have one half of the WWE Tag Team. Non-spoiler, by the way. Excuse me. You have one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, Kofi Kingston, going up against one half of the Vault Villains, who are obviously the number one contenders for the tag straps, Aiden English. I'm expecting that to be an okay match if it gets given time. I mean, Kofi's a great worker, former IC champ, US champ, and he's over with the New Day. Aiden English, if you notice, guys, and I don't know if I can show you the picture on my phone because it's of a WWE thing, so I'm not going to bother it. I'm not going to get myself. But Simon Gotch on his arm, his elbow, go back on Monday Night Raw, okay? It's poking out. I think he might have a staph infection kind of thing or something like that. So I think that's why they're going to save it. But, I'm expecting Aiden English to win just so that people actually think heading into the Extreme Rules pay-per-view event that, holy fuck, Aiden English and Simon Gotch of All Villains could actually win. But, it's WWE, so Kofi will win. Rusev versus Sin Cara in a rematch from Raw. Why on earth didn't Rusev obliterate Sin Cara on Raw? Becky Lynch versus the debuting Dana Brooke. I haven't seen Dana Brooke wrestle in absolutely donks. I want to see if she's a great worker now or if she's just a fucking toilet. Get your toiletries ready, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what she'll be, a toilet. But no, I mean, you're putting her against a great worker in Becky Lynch. I think it could be okay. You got Tyler Breeze and R-Truth versus Goldust and Fandango in a loser gets fired match. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. What's to talk about? It's a feud that no one cares. It's a lower mid card feud that, bless them, they got given time. And Goldust is funny when he does that, but apart from that, I'm not really interested. You got the IC champ Miz and Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn and Cesaro. You'll probably get this you'll probably get this on Monday or Thursday next week. I'm expecting on Monday them to just switch it up, Miz versus Cesaro and Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, or some form of tag team, or maybe even a 6-man tag, or I have no clue. But they're gonna tie up somehow. It's a preview for the Fatal 4-Way, obviously for the IC strap at Extreme Rules. Dude, I love this IC title division right now. You could add if you add Randy onto that mix, I'd have no complaints with you. If you added, Luke Harper when he comes back, add Neville when he comes back, add loads of people to this mix, you've got a fucking phenomenal division. And it's on fire right now. Then the main event, you got the Usos versus Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, the exact same as last week. However, the advertised main event of Roman Reigns versus Doc Gallows, which was advertised on Monday Night Raw, actually didn't take place, which is very strange. I don't know why. Maybe it was booked so that AJ would get involved. I have no freaking clue or idea why that happened. So after this, I'm gonna check out some live comments, and if we have no live comments, then we're going to close the show. So we have can go in 10 to 20 minutes. So we'll be going live with Lucha Underground review shortly, folks. So I'm just gonna quickly summarize this show before I hit the rack. What have we got here? Got any more live comments? Which new star is best equipped to be the face of the WWE? That's from Lennox Whitson. I don't want to say Reigns. I don't, because if you build a sports entertainer from the top down, you get Roman Reigns. Oh, how dare me. Oh, dude, I don't know right now. I mean, look at all the faces back in. You had Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, Roman Reigns, John Cena. They're all different. So, you can't really say it's this. But to build your whole company around, Sami Zayn, personally, I think he could be a great face. Example, my girlfriend who watched her first show at Payback, her favorite was Sami Zayn because he was a likable guy. Cena was back then, that likable guy, that go-to guy. Roman Reigns is meant to be portrayed as that likable guy, the guy. But, excuse me, I got this nasty tickly cough, which is going to fuck me off in very shortly. So I would say Sami Zayn is potential, but age plus injury plus fatigue because he's been doing it for so damn long. Kevin Owens maybe, Seth Rollins potentially, Dean Ambrose maybe, but who knows? All it takes is one major injury and you're out. Dragon Rider puts it's just after 9 p.m. here in New York, so SmackDown is on right now. Okay, cool. So there you are. I just gave you a free preview of SmackDown. Blah, 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 blah. There we are. That's it for live comments. Thank you very much for watching this show. Make sure you head over to pressing.me. Make sure you head over to KocoSports.net. Make sure you check out all that great stuff. Make sure you check out yesterday's NXT review. Make sure you stay now because in 10 minutes' time, me, Coco, and potentially Booms and potentially whoever the fuck else they've got going on, we'll be reviewing last night's Lucha Underground match. We will be reviewing the Grave Consequences match between Mil Muertes and Matanza, for the Lucha Underground Championship. So please stay there. Please check out SmackDown. I potentially could be back tomorrow for a W SmackDown review. No promises there, but I'll be back tomorrow no matter what with a PWME news. So thank you very much for watching this. Stay safe, stay well. This has been your boy LK, and I'll be catching your asses down the line.